Get cracking?
Yeah.
Okay, the Humble Albert Park Hotel. It was an interesting job for us because we'd had a go at it a few times in the past. Kind of 10 years earlier, one of our clients came to us, and so we did a pretty sizable kind of renovation on the first 2 levels of the hotel. It was a 3-level hotel. The upper level was, well, by the time we got to it, it was sort of end of life. The plant, equipment, roof, leaks, blown out structure, it was a mess. But we sort of had some understanding of the building from previous times about what was wrong with it. It was like this thing that no matter what you did to it, it just couldn't commercially trade properly as a hotel. And it just had some real fundamental problems. So when the new client came to us, we said, this is a complete rebuild. And they said, okay. So with this project, and before we go, we need to recognise the project was on vulnerable land. And pay our respects to elders of that crew. So the Humble Albert Park, that's it today. It's originally an 1880s Victorian building, and in the 1930s someone kind of did a number on it and sort of tried to, you know, put some portholes in and channel some of that modernism of the shipping liners and the vibe of the day. And it pretty much remained that way and still is. There was a heritage listing on the facade, so it was like, don't touch that. For it to kind of commercially work, we needed a bit more floor area. We snuck a 4th level in, but because of the arrangement of windows, you couldn't just set new floor levels wherever you liked. You had to kind of work with the building. But we worked with planning, got dragged to VCAT by a neighbour, and anyway, a long process, sort of 18 months of drawing and 18 months of building, which is about how it rolls these days. Yeah, as a commercial building, it was decided the client wanted hotel use on the first 2 floors, and then it was decided that if we get 2 more floors, we'd go with office use. That seemed the best, and commercial, just doing the numbers, that's what they really wanted to do. So, okay, that's just the site. If you kind of know where it is around Albert Park, yeah, okay. North is to the right in this presentation. Where you know going? Okay, oh, back. This is the ground floor plan. So it's a pub and a trading space, and really to get a hotel used to work on ground and second, you need to kind of have some connections. You need visual connection, you need just as many connections as you can get, to be honest. If you think about it, there's not many places 2-storey that trade well, that are kind of discreet and small, like this one. So the arrangement of, as a commercial vehicle, it's really about where the kitchen, loading, bathrooms are located, and it was about freeing up the facade line to the north and the east, and letting you know, light into the space and letting it kind of breathe. So it was a complete rearrangement, but we had to keep the facade and an internal wall that I'll show you in a minute that sort of squared off the original building. But now that's what it looks like these days. It's got some, you know, interesting components. It's a sort of hybrid hospitality trader. That yellow space shading is this internal atrium that really drove the scheme, because you've got quite a tight north frontage. As I said, like you know, in terms of fenestration, it's you know, really small, the void to solid ratio. We're working with old Victorian kind of spans. But there was you know, no one wants to, you know, go to a dark hotel, so it was about dragging light into the space. That's the first floor plan, and here's a photo, if everything comes up, of first floor. That's just one of the bars, but it gives you an idea. That's looking into the atrium to show you that it's doing a lot of work in terms of dragging light into the space. You know, there's a lot about general approach to hospitality in terms of how we control spaces and have kind of subspaces within a larger area. Okay, and then we get up to the first of the office floors. That square on the left, there's a 4-stop lift that we kind of blasted through the rear of the building. That took a little bit to get through heritage, but it was a kind of clear separation, treated architecturally as such, supported. That's just the floors. It's just exposed structure and like a C-grade pine lining. It was about just expressing the simplicity of the space and a very flexible kind of little office. There's 2 floors. This is the next level up, which we kind of had to, gently fight through town planning. But it is, there's a call for offices of this kind of shape. This is just the long side, and then it bends around to the left in a sort of L shape. This is the level of the building here, and then you can see there's an external deck. Now this is that atrium that kind of drives a lot of the connection and works, it's the kind of hero of the project because it connects the trading over 2 floors and also gets a lot of light into the office spaces above. That's a view down through it. It's sort of, there's a whole lot of language ideas behind it from Escher to kind of classical architecture in some ways. There is a series of catwalks and walkways that allow people to move through the space, either seen or not seen, depending on what the program is. And we can kind of open and close off parts of that space. It's really interesting going back to the start of the job. This is a really early sketch, and this is what it turned into. And another very early sketch, and that's what it turned into. You can see some of those catwalks, and really it's, that's what we told the client we were going to leave. We're going to keep these walls and then pretty much rebuild it as a commercial facility. And it's traded really well and it's going gangbusters, and they're very happy clients. They did open in the first week of COVID on April 2. That's it.